Hi friends and welcome to my nest. My name is Kate, and so throughout January I've seen a lot of people reorganizing their sewing room and doing some change and making it clean and just tidying up everything in their sewing room. So after doing that and you come across like lots and lots of scraps, right? Scrap fabric. If you're a quilter, they don't go away. So I thought I'd talk about ways to manage those scraps after you've organized your sewing room. I want to talk about the way I organize my scraps. And let me tell you, I have like, I think 2.5 inch squares are like everywhere. Like I was overwhelmed with all my 2.5 inch squares. I have so many of them. So what I came up with a way to store it. I just sat and I just cut all of it to various sizes that I think is workable for me. So let me show you a few of my ideas and ways to organize my scraps that works for me, and hopefully you can take some of this idea and implement it in your sewing room, and hopefully this will encourage and inspire you to work on your scrap organization technique in your sewing room. So let me go ahead and show you what I do that works for me for right now. Okay, this is how I kind of store them after I've organized all of them. So on top here I have all of my 2.5 inches and then 2.5 inch strip that I found from the rubble that I was cleaning. So I have here 2.5 inches. With the help of my son, I color coordinated it. So for example, I have here pinks and red, and then green, blue, dark color, orange, purple, gray, yellow, and these are ones that I still need to cut. So when I'm ready to work on it, I'll put it in this bin right here. So during the time when I was sorting everything out, I came across gazillions of HST that are not quite 3 inches. So I went on ahead and trimmed them down to 2.5 inch HST. So this is what I'm currently working on, and I will go ahead and show you what I did with this. So I cut this up and I have my lights right here. So this is currently what I'm working on my sewing table. This is what I have left right now. I have been working on this. So I've been creating shoe fly blocks with them. And this plastic right here came from Target. I think it comes in 2 packs and it's like $3. It is so nice and it keeps things tidy. I just pick it up. Like if I need to work on it, I'll pick it up, I put it in here, and I'll put it next to my sewing table. When I'm done with it, I'll bring it back. And for example, this one is in here right now. So this one is in here. I'll put it there so that way I know everything is tidy. So my next bin is my 3 inches and 3.5, and it has this bin here. I have not trimmed this down yet. This is leftover cutaway from like flying geese or square in a square. So I put them here. These are like 3.5. They need to be trimmed down. So they're in here. I've not done anything with them. So if I have trimmed them down, they will be in here. So these are 3.5 square and these are 3.5 inch HST. And then these right here are 3 inches HST or a quarter square block. And these right here are solid 3 inch square. So I just kind of put them in here just so I know exactly where everything is. And then when I need to work on it, I'll pull it out. Right now, I'm not working on these. So I'm going to put it back, and then I'll put this on top of it. So these are my 4.5 and 4 inches square. This is what I have so far. This is the leftover when we did the fun fall sew along. This is some of the fabric that are solid in 4.5 inches. I didn't want to cut it because I might use it for something different. And then I have this right here. It's 4.5, so I didn't know what to do with them. Maybe I might make a square and a square later on. So this is what this look like. So these are 4.5 inches and 4 inches squares. And then these right here are 5 inches and 5 inches HST right here. So these are the tulip pink, like the cutaway that we had. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I was thinking about just putting it in the middle of the 5 inches and just sewing across it and it be in a block somehow. So that's why I have this here, okay? When I'm not using it, I put it in here. And then these bottom part right here are just like, let me show you. These right here are like orphan blocks that I made, and I either have too many of the same thing. So for example, these are like the string bean blocks that I made. I have way too many. I just was making them during the pandemic, so I wanted to get rid of my scrap. So I made a whole bunch of this and I made a quilt out of it. So this is the leftover from that quilt. And then these are some of the colorways that I did. These right here and these. So these, they can also go on a different kind of quilt. I can make a quilt out of these when I feel like it. Right now, they're not in my rim of things to work on. So for now, they are going to sit here and wait until I'm ready for them. While they're waiting, I know that it is tidy and it's organized, and I know where they're at. So that is that. If you're wondering where I got this little setup right here, I purchased this from Marshall's Home Good a while back. They always have something like this that you can use. They have a taller one or shorter one. It was the closest color to my sewing room, the white and then a little bit of the gray. And it has wheels so I can move it. So I put my iron on top of this right here. If I want to cut, I can also put this little cutting tool right here at the same time. It's a triple duty kind of situation. If I want to cut something small, I can put this on top, and then I know that my scraps are right here. So if I'm cutting scrap, I can just open one of these, put it in there, and I'm done. It's like a one-stop shop. So it's my iron sits here when I'm working. I use this to cut. I store my scraps in here, and they can move wherever I am at. So let me show you what I've done with the 2.5-inch square and the 2.5-inch HST, and how I have been utilizing them to kind of deflate the amount of scrap and 2.5-inch square that I have. Let me show you. So this right here are 2.5 inches HST that I had. And so what I did was I took my 2.5-inch solid light background, and I created this shoe fly block with each one. For example, this right here were all the HST that I have cut out that I explained earlier. And so I just took a solid red and put it in the middle, and then I was able to create a block that is 6.5 inches square from all the scraps that I have gathered. So right now I have 80 plus block right here. So this is just from my 2.5 inches square and my 2.5 inches HST right here. So I was able to create and generate all these blocks from the scraps that are left over from an actual quilt. I did not go out and buy anything new. I didn't go out and buy any background. For example, this is a Bonnie and Camille background. This is a April Rosenthal background. This is just a solid art gallery, and these are just leftover that I have that I just cut down to 2.5 inches. If you know, these are like tulip pink. This is also tulip pink. A lot of this right here are generated from that square that I was talking about earlier to you. So let's talk about what is too small for me to keep. Anything smaller than 2 inches, I do not keep, because you realize that you have so much leftovers. And then after you use your leftover, you have leftover from that. So it just kind of, if you don't kind of let go some things, you will be so overwhelmed with the scraps. So these right here are like, they're usable leftover scraps. So right now, I have created something else with it. So it's a workable scraps, even though they don't all match, even though they're green and they're different shades of green, and these up here are red. None of these are the same designers. For example, this is Tulip Pink. This is Michael Miller. This is Moda, Tulip Pink. This is Lori Holt. This is Cherry and Chelsea. What else do I have here? This is a Tulip Pink as well. Down here, I don't even know who that is. But you get the idea. So it's an ongoing thing if you're a quilter to have scraps. Now, the bin that I showed you earlier only has my 2.5, my 3s and 3.5, 4s and 4.5, and then 5 inches. But I just wanted to come on and just kind of like explain the process of how I store my scraps. Even though I'm working on creating a quilt out of this, there are also other ideas for creating something else with your scraps. For example, some people will come up and make handbags with them, like a strip handbag. Some people will make a coaster. Some people make puppy quilt and things like that. And then like I keep my Tulip Pink scraps. These are another thing, like I think we got this from our Soul Simpler box a while back. I used my Tulip Pink fabric to make the mug rug. I just went on ahead and put one of her more subdued color on the back of it. So that's an idea too, to make a mug rug and give it to people for Christmas. I just want to come on today to show how I store and what I'm going to do with my scraps after organizing my sewing room earlier in the year. So for the rest of this year, my goal is to create something with those squares that you guys just saw. And so this is my first project that I'm doing from those scraps. As I work on them, I will come back and I will show you what I have done. So that way you can be inspired and encouraged and just kind of do something with your scraps, because if you don't do anything with them, they're just going to sit there and it's going to grow, and then you're going to be overwhelmed, and then it's going to be too much, and then your sewing room becomes a mess all over again. And then January 2025, you're going to work on organizing again. It's like chasing your tail in a cup. So no, you don't want to do that. You want to work on them as you go on, and that's what I'm doing. So hopefully you will be able to do the same thing too. And then to encourage you, I will also come on and I will show you what I have created with those scraps. Okay. So with that being said, I just wanted to come on here and share an idea or two on how to manage the scraps that you've incurred after you've organized your sewing room. So that way they don't just become a mess all over again. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I would love to see you in my next video. You guys have a great day. Bye.